Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Vickie's Country Home. Tonight I'm taking advantage of the cabbage that is such a good price at this time of year. And what I'm going to be making is a deconstructed cabbage roll. This recipe is a little bit different from most of the ones you'll see because I'm not going to put the tomatoes in it. So come on along and let's get started. Okay, the first step is to get your skillet hot, and you need a nice large skillet with a lid that fits pretty well. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in here because this ground beef is pretty lean. So we're just going to add that in there. I'm going to break it up and we're going to brown it. In the meantime, I'm going to dice a small onion and I'm going to chop up a small head of cabbage. So I'll bring you back when this is all browned and then we'll see what happens next. Alright, once you've got your ground beef browned, then we're going to start putting this together. I'm going to add my onion. Along with my chopped cabbage. And you can see it's kind of large pieces. But it doesn't matter because cabbage cooks down. Alright, we're just going to add those in. And I'm going to add about a teaspoon of dehydrated minced garlic. We're going to add a little salt. And pepper. Yeah, we're just going to let this cook down until the onions and the cabbage have gotten tender and soft. So I'm just going to let this cook, and while it's cooking we'll go ahead and get the sauce, the tomato sauce, put together. Okay, this is one of those recipes that I made up, so I'm going to try and give you my ingredients, but I will probably be tasting it as I go along and adding, because I really don't measure usually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a half pint of my home canned tomato sauce. And to this I'm going to add about half of a teaspoon of dehydrated minced garlic, about half of a teaspoon of celery salt, a teaspoon of onion powder, and a heaping teaspoon of paprika. Again, I'm guessing on these. And about a teaspoon of white vinegar. And I normally use brown sugar, but since I got this Sucanat from Azure Standard, I'm going to use that instead. So I've got a tablespoon of the Sucanat, but you can use brown sugar. That's what I normally use. All right. I'm just going to stir this all together. And I think, although this is another thing that I normally don't do, but I think I'm going to add some tomato powder to that. So I'm going to try half of a tablespoon because I really want to get that tomato taste. So instead of having the tomatoes in my deconstructed cabbage roll, mine is going to be a sauce that goes over the top. And Brian loves this so much, he says he could use this instead of ketchup any day. So now what I'm going to do is put this on just really low, and I want it to just very slowly come together, all the flavors come together and slightly thicken. So I'm going to put this on the heat and go check on my ground beef and cabbage, and we'll come back in just a little bit. Alright, I think that my cabbage is getting pretty well wilted and the onions are translucent. So I'm going to add 1 cup of white rice, and then I'm going to add 2 cups, about 1 3/4 to 2 cups of my homemade beef bone broth. I'm going to kind of stir that in a little. And that's not a ton of liquid, but we're still going to have liquid coming off this cabbage, so I think it's going to be fine. Alright, we're going to put the lid on it. We're going to bring it up to the simmer, and then we are going to just turn it down until it stays at a simmer. And we're going to do that for 20 to 25 minutes until the rice is completely cooked through. So I'm going to get this going. I'm heating up my tomato mixture, and I did add a little bit of seasoning to it after tasting. Like I told you, I normally make this from taste. So I ended up putting 1.5 tablespoons of the Sucanat, and I made it 2 teaspoons of paprika, maybe just 1/8 of a teaspoon more of the celery salt. So now I'm just going to keep an eye on that, and I just want it to thicken and let the flavor come together while this is cooking. So when it's all done, we'll come back and we'll have a taste. All right, here it is. It smells so good. You know, it is such an easy meal, and it doesn't take that long to put together. So here is my deconstructed cabbage roll, but any good cabbage roll needs some nice tomato sauce on it. So here is my version of the tomato sauce. Doesn't that look yummy now? Let's have a taste. All right, here we go. It smells so good. Want to get everything in the bite, but it's really hot. There's so much flavor there. And you can spice it up or down to whatever you like. And it's an inexpensive meal. It doesn't take that long. I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you shared this with your friends. If you did enjoy it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Hit the little notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. God bless. We'll talk again soon.